You're live with E at the Black and Fashion Council Discovery Showroom at New York Fashion Week. My name is Lindsay Wagner. I'm the editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue and currently transitioning to be the editor-in-chief of The Cut in New York Magazine. Super excited to be with you as, New York Fashion Week looks very different this year and obviously still in the midst of the pandemic, but we wanted to do something to make sure to support all these young, amazing designers and designers of color. But first, I want to take some e-news questions and just explain some things about myself. As I said before, I'm currently editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue. I actually assisted at Teen Vogue and worked at Teen Vogue before. I was a huge fan of the Hills, and that really led me to working there. I wanted to always work in fashion, but growing up in the Midwest really felt like it was hard for me to try to figure out my way into it. And so it's been such a thrilling experience for me to try to figure out how we make the industry more inclusive and make the workforce more equitable. And that's really what brought me here to being in Black and Fashion Council with my co-founder, Sandrine Charles. So to answer some of the e-news questions, the first one is what's upcoming for the Black and Fashion Council and how can we as an audience help? We so appreciate anyone who is willing to help with the Black and Fashion Council. There's so much that we're trying to do to make the industry more equitable. And so we really appreciate any brand that you work for, getting them to sign on, any people that you know that are working, in diversity and inclusion space. We really appreciate that support and we'd love for you to have you and love to bring you on. So thank you so much for that. The next question from some e-news questions was any celeb stories. The funny thing is when you work in fashion, you can't actually share a lot of the celeb stories because we sign non-disclosures, but I have plenty good ones. And yes, a lot of shoots are very crazy, but that's pretty much all I can say about that. Next question, what are your biggest trends for the spring of 2021? I think it's really interesting actually because we've obviously all been at home and, I've been wearing sweatpants as most people have been wearing something that's really comfortable. And so I actually think that the trends are now, how do you actually mix a hybrid of both? How do you wear something that's also comfortable but chic? How do you wear something that you could wear at home but maybe you have to go somewhere and also just wants to feel a little bit more put together? So I think it's actually going to be a lot more comfortable than in the past. And then the next question is, are skinny jeans acceptable or not? I'm going to go with a hard pass. No, they are not. I think there's some other styles. Definitely look for some high-waisted styles. There's a ton of styles that I think are just a little bit more flattering and a little bit more modern is the nice way I think I'll put it. Next question is, what's the most important lesson that the fashion industry has taught you? I would definitely say that the fashion industry has made me incredibly resilient, and I think it has just really pushed me to figure out the ways in which that I can bring about change. Black and Fashion Council was really started so that we could make sure that the industry was actually improving and making equitable changes for people and making representation possible, and that just requires a certain kind of resilience that I think other industries just quite frankly don't. So I think it's been a huge lesson in resilience and strength. And then last question, you work with a lot of celebrities. Have you ever been starstruck? Honestly, no. When you work in fashion and you work on shoots all the time, you're used to tying shoes and helping people, put their belt on and all these clothes. And so there's not really that much time to be starstruck, but definitely used to it. And it's a fun part of the job.